Hi, I'm Shania. Welcome back to my channel. This is Evolve with Grace, where I discuss all the things that we evolve with in this life, whether it's personal finance, dealing with the adult children, any kind of life transitions. So, this is a new transition for me. As I've mentioned in my other videos, I'm pretty new to YouTube. It's been a fun and exciting ride so far, and I'd ask for you to give me grace, like my channel says, as I give myself grace and starting something new. So today I want to talk about 5 things you need to do now for your financial fitness. And being as though I'm new to this, I wrote things down in my handy dandy notebook because I don't want to forget to go over anything. So the first thing I want to talk about is your why. You need to determine your why, and it needs to be strong. Like, you need to feel it in your core. One of the biggest goals that we ever had was to purchase a home. We had 2 daughters. I guess they were around 3 and 4 at the time, 3 and 5 at the time, and I worked at a bank. And all day long I counted other people's money. And when you see other people's bank accounts, it's a bird's eye view as to what can be, and also how far you have to go. So anyway, at that time of my life, my why was trying to give our girls the best life possible. On lunch, I would take a walk through the neighborhood and look at all the homes. And I would envision myself, my husband, and my girls being in that home. My why was so strong that I could picture them playing in the backyard, my husband grilling, me in the kitchen cooking, because I love to cook. And that why was so strong that every day that I walked in that neighborhood, I reinforced it. So it was real to me. And every time that I said no to a purchase or no to something that would cost money, I envisioned a brick in my mind building that home. So my why was so strong that I could literally create the house that I wanted. I'll talk about that in a later video. You wouldn't believe it, but it's kind of an amazing story. So you need to determine your why first. Oftentimes people want to jump into the numbers and the budget and figuring out how to save more, or being overwhelmed by their debt. I think the most important thing to do is your why. Make it real to you. Envision it being your reality. Don't just say, okay, well, I want to save more money to go on vacations. Well, what kind of vacation do you want to go on? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So your why, I think, is your most important step that you need to take in creating the goal, to accomplishing the goal that you want for yourself. 2. So the second one is to make the decision to start. Start paying attention to your finances now. Time is not on our side because we don't know how much time we have. Time can either work for you or can work against you. What I mean in that is, if you are investing in the stock market, the earlier you start investing, the longer you have to create compounded interest, and then your money makes money for itself. If you start saving, you're building upon that savings, and the more time you have, the bigger your savings. How time works against you is that if you wait and do nothing when it comes to investing, you are not going to get the gains that you could have had you started earlier. My husband and I had started our investing in a 401k when we were kids, which also helped us to purchase our first home at 24, 25 years old. So that walking through the neighborhood and counting other people's money really did help motivate us to purchasing a home of our own. To get back to what I was saying about time, the more time that you put off focusing on things that you improve, that more chance it is that those things will deteriorate. What you focus on improves, what you ignore deteriorates. But you need to start. You don't have to start big. It could be baby steps. Take one step at a time and just start. Don't waste your time. That's number 2. Number 3 is pay yourself first. I never knew what that means, what that meant. So I would hear people say, oh, pay yourself first, pay yourself first. How can I pay myself first? What that means is putting money to the side for you. Oftentimes we look at a savings account and we can't picture what we're saving for. And when you don't have an idea of what you're saving for, it's really hard to save. So if you pay yourself first, even if it's $5 a week, anything that you can squeeze out of your finances, out of your budget, whatever you can squeeze out for yourself, you pay yourself first and then pay everything later. you could start with $5. I can tell you that there was a time in life where when I wanted to start investing and I realized that I was going to Starbucks every day and spending $5. At the time, Starbucks is $5. And I said, you know what? I'm making Starbucks rich. What I'm going to do is that every time I want to buy a Starbucks, I'm going to put $5 to the side. And when I can, I'm going to build up enough money to purchase stock in Starbucks. Because why should Starbucks just get wealthy off of my $5? That $5 account turned to over $20,000 now. And this was only going back a couple of years, but I started the habit of doing the $5 of paying myself first. If your company offers a 401k plan or some kind of a retirement plan that you can pay into, start earlier than later, because starting earlier gives your money time to grow and benefit you. Track your spending. Number 3 is track your spending, right? Tracking your spending could be kind of scary for people because it makes them face something that they don't want to see. So what I want to say at this point is just start. Don't look back. Don't look at the 30 days. Start now, today, because every moment's a new beginning. Start tracking your spending, meaning you spend something, you went to the supermarket and bought bacon. Write down that you bought bacon and how much it cost. Just keep a daily log of what you're spending. If you look at what you're spending, it kind of gives you an idea if your choices are habit-based or need-based. Once you look at that, it makes you a little bit more intentional with your spending because you know you have to write it down. When I first started doing that, I struggled because I was a spender and I really wanted to spend, but I just didn't want to write it down. And you'd be amazed with just the act of writing down kind of prevents you from spending unconsciously, or just it just makes you stop and think, right? So I'm thinking of, my thing is all about going forward, because when you look backwards, you kind of get stuck in your mistakes, and that can really be defeating. But if you look at every moment as a new beginning and you start doing it now and moving forward, you can see where things can go. Let's see, number 4. When you're spending money, ask yourself why you're spending it. If you want to write it down in the same book, or if you get a notebook or a journal where you're tracking your spending, write down why you're spending it. Are any emotions involved? Are you stressed? Are you lonely? Are you tired? Do you really need this item? Is this an impulse purchase because you saw somebody on Instagram and you thought it was great? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying to write it down. Write down your reasons why and how you're feeling. This is all to give you a clear picture of where you are now, where your starting point is. This is not where you're going, so don't try to pretend or to, not be open and honest with yourself, because this is for you. And as long as you're honest with yourself, it is easier to make those changes going forward in the future. Yep, I think that's what I went through, all 5. So 1 was determine your why. 2, make the decision to start. 3, pay yourself first. 4, track your spending. And 5, ask yourself why you're spending. Personal finance can be overwhelming, especially if you feel like you have a mess, right? So for me, being able to have a plan is where my power is, and that's where the peace is. You're not going to fix things overnight. And I always say everybody wants to go to bed fat and wake up skinny. Well, I want to go to bed, like I said, I'm under construction. I will tell you in all my videos, there's tools that I put in my toolbox. I'm hoping you take these tools and put them in your toolbox. But there is no perfect people. No one gets it all right all the time. So for me, the idea of finding peace in the plan, it gives me a sense of control, because oftentimes your money can make you feel like you have none. You have no control, because you can't control how much you're getting paid unless you get a second job. But your income coming in, the first thing that people say is, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. Again, I'm sorry for the bloopers and the blunders in this video. Again, I'm new to this and I'm unedited. This is me having a conversation with you as if I'd have that conversation with myself, which I often do. So find your peace in your plan. Just take a moment to be more intentional. Give yourself grace as you evolve with grace, and do the best you can. Have a great day. Thank you. Oh, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I see that you're watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.